morning, America, and welcome back to a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss them over a glass of wine. I'm Patrick M. Dunn. Perhaps you know me from the previous 89-ish episodes, and I'm joined here by, as always, actually, by Kat Halstead, the author.
Good morning. You were super peppy there. Oh my god.
Oh, but why? Because 5 minutes before this, I was not, and then all of a sudden I became.
It's like we hit record, and you went into it, and you were like, hello! And I'm like, whoa.
I can turn myself off and on, like I'm a robot.
A robot!
Robot. What the fuck? Ryan Seacrest. I am Ryan Seacrest. The camera will shut off, and I'll be, tired and sleeping and a jerk, and then you turn the camera on, and I am wild and peppy, because, we are started later than usual because I was such a hot mess this morning. I tried to make coffee. I didn't even have a fucking pod in the coffee thing. It just made hot water. It was wild. It was been a wild morning, and I didn't even realize it until I grabbed the mug and I took a sip, and I was like, "This is just fucking water."
Oh my gosh, Patrick! Wow.
Yes, and then we're supposed to do another recording today, and I fell asleep during the program, so we're gonna have to push that off. But We're here for Here Comes the Booze. We're here to serve up some scares.
Yeah, you're really peppy for when we're supposed to be spooky.
Yeah, okay. What do you want me to do? Walk through a graveyard or something? How am I going to be spooky?
You're just super peppy this morning. Kind of freaking me out. What are we even talking about today? Where the hell are my notes?
We are talking about, we're doing book club. We are back to the books. We hit the library last night. We were up late reading and just learning basically, because isn't reading fundamental and learning is knowledge or something, or learning is power? I don't know what I'm talking about. You put the mic down, so I'm just fucking treading water here.
I did not put the mic down. It is in my hand. I am staring at you.
Well, you turned around. You turned away from the mic.
I went to get my notes because I had to think about what the heck we were talking about, and I had to take notes on this because I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Well, we're reading a book aimed for sixth graders, and you did not understand it, which I just thought was hilarious.
I spaced out in the middle of it. At one point I was like, wait, I'm still listening to this?
So we...
what is happening?
We read the classic R.L. Stine Goosebumps novel, A Night in Terror Tower, which is a wild story. A wild story about being trapped in a tower of terror and... I don't know, teens being chased? Preteens, actually. I think they were preteens.
Yeah, they're preteens. They're getting chased by, one creepy guy. I got confused. I was like, how many people are chasing these kids? And why?
I'll lay it all out for you, Kat, because...
Okay, because I was super confused. This was not as easy to follow as the Sweet Valley High.
I can't believe you've never read a Goosebumps book.
No, I never. I've told you last night. I was off reading Sweet Valley High and Babysitter's Club and trashy romance novels.
You never wanted to get spooked?
No.
Spooked by, PG-rated horror?
Nope.
Nope, you never even read, a Fear Street by R.L. Stine?
Nope, never.
You must be the only person in the world, the entire planet, counting countries where people don't even have books, that have never read R.L. Stine.
I must be. I saw the Goosebumps movie in theaters a couple years ago.
Oh, that is trash.
Does that count?
No, that does not count at all. That is not related to the phenomenon that was Goosebumps.
Oh, okay.
From 1992 to 1997-ish, I think.
You're right. R.L. Stine does not look like Jack Black at all.
He's a distinguished, older-ish looking man.
Well, because he's 73 years old.
Yeah, he's that old? Damn.
Yes.
And I think he's still pumping out books too, to this day.
Yeah.
I think did he revive Goosebumps? You seem to be up to date on him for some reason.
I feel like there was something. There was a revival or some sort.
Yeah, maybe he revisited some of his classic tales.
Well, he did in the last few years. He's done some other book series, including Goosebumps Horrorland.
Ooh, Horrorland. I wonder what that's about. Mm-hmm. I don't really care, to be honest with you. So, Goosebumps, we did A Night in Terror Tower. This was released in January 1995.
Yes.
So I did a little dig, and I couldn't find out what the hot books were that week. But I did find Goodreads.com's top 5 books published in 1995, if you're curious, if you want to go into this world.
Okay. What does Goodreads say the top 5 books were?
All right. Their top book that year was, it's a book by Philip Pullman, The Golden Compass, the first book in the His Dark Material series. Are you familiar with this?
I've heard of that. They made a movie of that. That's all I know about it.
Yes, this is the fantastic tale of an orphan whose carefree life is flipped upside down by the arrival of 2 unsolicited visitors. Ooh, and well, children are mysteriously disappearing in this town, and some weird shit is going on in the far north, and possible alternate realities. Oh, and the series dwells into anti-religious themes, which angered a shit ton of Christians when the 2000s film was released, which starred our gal pal Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig, who we know and love as James Bond, I think. Do we like Daniel Craig?
I don't think I've actually ever seen Daniel Craig in anything.
What? Not even by accident?
Like, maybe by accident. Like, if I saw him in it, I didn't know it was him. I mean, I've never seen a James Bond movie, so.
Oh, we're gonna kidnap Kat. We're gonna lock her in a room with like 27 TVs that are all playing James Bond movies at the same time, different ones, and we're gonna have the volume at max volume. It's gonna be like the scene from Lost, one of the Dharma stations, and you're gonna be reprogrammed to like James Bond.
Did I tell you that there was a house we were looking at that had this like really creepy setup that looked like it was a brainwashing area? Like, there's like this little room off, like not even a full room. It's just like an alcove off the main basement of this house. And there's like a TV mounted to the wall. There are these 2 like creepy looking chairs that look like you could get strapped. They look almost like chairs you'd find in a dentist's office.
Ooh, creepy. You need
like,
to...
that you could get strapped in and you'd be forced to like watch these TVs. Like, the first time, like, my sister-in-law sent me pictures of it. I was like, oh my god, this is a brainwashing center. Like, what the hell?
You need to send me that address because I might put an offer down on it. So I can have a...
It was a nice house.
I can have a torture room.
It was a nice house. We actually went and saw it.
Ooh. If anyone goes missing in the Colorado area, stop by Kat Halstead's house because there might be someone being brainwashed there.
No, it's not my house. Stop saying stuff like that.
Keep it in the back of your mind.
A-hole?
She might be kidnapping people and brainwashing them to like Boy Meets World or something.
No.
All right. Are you ready for the second book? The second most popular book according to Goodreads in 1995.
Okay.
I'm going to say I think you're familiar with this. If you're not, I'm just going to like stop doing this podcast with you. Wicked! The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West by Gregory Maguire.
I mean, that is a hot classic musical from Broadway starring Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah. Did you ever read the book?
No.
Me neither. This was the unofficial prequel to the Land of Oz series, which is told from the perspective of the Wicked Witch of the West, who wasn't always so wicked after all. And it was eventually adapted into the musical that Kat just mentioned. So I've actually never seen the musical either.
I haven't seen it either.
And I have like zero interest, to be honest with you.
I think there's like an adaptation coming in movie form somewhere, but yeah.
Like, I'm surprised like they never like tried to do it on Glee or something.
Listen, we're not going to talk about that, okay? Because they had both Kristen and Idina on Glee. They did Defying Gravity, yes. Leah Michele and Chris Colfer.
Wait, is that a song from Wicked, the musical?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess Glee did do it, and apparently it wasn't good because Katz doesn't want to talk about it.
Listen, when it comes to Glee, the only thing I want to talk about is Derek Chris.
Okay. Well, if we ever do an episode of Glee, we'll have to make sure not to do this episode with Defying Gravity, or else, I don't know, a lot of people will be angry about it.
Listen, I'm not going to mess with the Gleeks.
All right. Do you think that like NBC or Fox or something will try to do one of those stupid like Wicked Live specials that they do every now and then?
I feel like that's in the works. I feel like that might be something in the works. I'm just not going to Google it right now.
With like Mario Lopez in it as like the Cowardly Lion or something.
No, Mario Lopez is like the host of the broadcast. The way they had Mario host the Grease broadcast or whatever.
Oh, he wasn't actually in it?
No, he wasn't actually in it. He like hosted the broadcast.
Oh, I thought he was like John Travolta. I was like, ooh, Mario Lopez is John Travolta.
No, Aaron Tveit played Danny Zuko.
I don't even know who that is. So.
Oh, he's oh my god.
Is he another Glee star?
No, like a Broadway star. He was in Les Mis, the movie, and yeah. He was on Gossip Girl.
I've never been to a play, so I can't say that I know about the play world.
There's no way that you were 36 years old and you've never been to a play.
We've brought this up on the podcast before. I have zero interest in musicals, like not even remotely interested. I think the only musical I've ever seen was like Grease 2 and Little Shop of Horrors with Rick Moranis. Does that count?
Oh my god.
And Disney movies, I guess, but do those count?
No, those don't count.
I've been to Disney on Ice. They kind of sing and dance and shit.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Are you ready for the third book? Goodreads.com.
Yeah, let's find out
All
what
right.
this third one was.
I feel like I've heard of this, but I don't ever remember it. A Child Called It by David Pelzer.
I know the title.
This is a downer.
I've heard the title.
Yeah, I know I've heard the title before. I feel like this was something like we were supposed to read in like high school, but I must have been absent that week or something.
Mm-hmm. Or you just didn't do it?
Yeah, probably. That's probably it. I probably was like, fuck this book. A Child Called It chronicles the unforgettable account of one of the most severe child abuse cases in California history. It is the true story of David Pelzer, who is the author, and he was brutally beaten by and nearly starved to death by his lunatic alcoholic mother. And this is just kind of like his like rise from the ashes story.
Oh my goodness.
It sounds like a horrible situation. Now that I'm older, I'd probably go back and read the book, but I don't know. Like 15-year-old me probably wouldn't have been interested in it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. 15, 14-year-old me was definitely not reading this.
Yeah, I was probably reading this Goosebumps book that we're about to do in a little bit.
Yeah. At least we're honest about what we were reading.
Yes. All right. Are you ready for book number 4?
Yes.
In this,
Hit me with it.
List. All right. You might know this. Kiss the Girls by James Patterson.
I remember the commercials on TV for it.
Hello again to Alex Cross. This was the sequel to Along Came a Spider, which chronicles the investigation of a medical intern who suddenly disappears in North Carolina, and a series of murders in Los Angeles that happen simultaneous. So it's a coast-to-coast thriller, y'all.
Oh my.
It eventually was adapted into a movie, also Along Came a Spider. And I know I've seen them. I think Morgan Freeman, I think, is in them.
Is Ashley Judd in them? Or at least one of them?
I want to say she is, but then I was thinking that might be Double Jeopardy for some reason. But I think she's in one of them.
Well, FYI, there's a Wicked movie coming out in 2009.
Oh.
Or not 2019.
I was going to say, what do you read, an article from like 2007?
Apparently.
Do we have a cast listing of Wicked?
No, there's no cast list. There's like almost nothing on the IMDb page. It hasn't been updated in almost a year.
I could see like Ron Howard's daughter being it. Is it Bryce Howard Dallas?
Yeah, I think that's her name.
I could see her being in for some reason. I could see her being the witch. I think she'd be a good witch.
Ashley Judd was in Double Jeopardy and Kiss the Girls.
Okay, you were right. I was gonna say I thought Sandra Bullock was in one of them, but I think she was in a different murder mystery.
Wow, Ashley Judd has been in more stuff than I realized.
What is Ashley Judd's latest role? Because I feel like I haven't seen her in at least a decade.
Well, apparently she was on Twin Peaks.
Oh, she was! I forgot about that.
As Beverly Page?
Yeah, shout out to Beverly Page. I think she's barely in it, though.
I think there's a show called Berlin Station she did. I don't know if it's aired yet.
That doesn't sound like a hot hit to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently she's been in the Divergent series.
Oh, like the films?
Yeah, Divergent, Insurgent.
Is that the one that got canceled? They canceled that series?
I think so. It's the one that had that annoying girl from The Fault in Our Stars.
Oh,
and the teen pregnancy show.
The Secret Life of an American Teenage Girl or something?
Yeah, okay. That girl.
Was that a teenage pregnancy show?
Yeah, it was.
Really?
Like all those girls got pregnant.
I think you're thinking of 16 and Pregnant.
No. The Secret Life of the American Teenager had like her character get knocked up at summer camp by some guy. And then like, so she was pregnant and she had the baby. And then like that guy's ex-girlfriend or something got knocked up. It was stupid. I used to see the commercials all the time on ABC Family.
I want to throw it out there. I've never watched it. I just know, is it Shailene Woodley or something? Is that her name?
Yeah, that's her name.
I just know the name Shailene Woodley. I thought she was like a spy or something. Like she was like Harriet the Spy. Like that's her secret life. She's spying on people. And
no, her secret life was that she got knocked up.
No, it's not that secretive.
Yeah, and Molly Ringwald played her mom.
Oh, maybe I'll go back and check it out. Shout out to Molly Ringwald playing a mom in 20 something, 2010 maybe.
That sounds about right. Well, hello, Molly Ringwald plays Archie's mom on Riverdale.
Oh yeah, shout out to Archie's mom, played by Molly Ringwald in 2017. Yeah. Pretty soon, Molly Ringwald will be the grandma. Wild times.
Oh God!
Wild times are coming.
Not ready for that. I'm still like wrapping my head around Luke Perry being a father.
Luke Perry's like 65 years old, so I think it's time that he plays a dad.
Hush.
Luke Perry was the age we are now when he was playing a teenager. So stars age, Kat.
They do, but still, like, come on.
All right. Are you ready for book 5? The 5th book that Goodreads
what is
says.
it?
All right, this is wild. This is Dreams from My Father, a story of race and inheritance by Barack Obama, bitches!
In 1995?
Yeah, like right before his Senate campaign that made Obama one of the most influential and compelling voices in American politics, he published a powerful memoir that tells the story of his struggle to understand the forces that shaped him as the son of a black American father and a white American mother. And he went on this like amazing journey like across the world and found himself.
I did not realize the book was that old.
Yeah, this is the book that compelled him to be a powerful man.
Okay, then.
I think you need to pay attention to history, Kat.
I just did not know that book was that old.
Yeah, this is. I think we're gonna buy this for you. I'm gonna send this to you along with a bottle of wine, and you're gonna stay up late tonight, and you're gonna read the Barack Obama book, and maybe I'll even send you a Goosebumps book too.
One day I'm just gonna get the most random package from Patrick, and I'm gonna be like, "What is this?"
I'll send you the Haunted Mask one.
And Lord only knows whatever else he's decided to send. Like, he always has this list of stuff he's gonna send.
It's gonna be a Goosebumps book, a bottle of wine, and the Barack Obama book, and like a Gwyneth Paltrow Lego figure.
Because that's the thing.
Well, she was in Iron Man, and they have like a Pepper Potts Lego. Oh, I have it. It's right here. I'm gonna show it up to the camera, and you won't see it on the podcast, listeners. But here she is.
Okay, that's just wow. You have a Pepper Potts Lego?
Yes, I leave it at my desk
on your desk
every day. I look at it, and it helps me think that I can rise just like Gwyneth Paltrow and start something like Goop or some lifestyle blog. It's my inspiration. It's my vision board. My vision board is a Gwyneth Paltrow Lego figure.
You're so special. I love you. Maybe
I'll send you a Chris Evans Lego figure.
I'm down with that.
That way we can we'll each have a piece of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as our inspiration. That was 1995 top 5 books. Wild times. I feel like there probably was better books that was released that year, but I couldn't find them.
Probably.
I don't know.
You know, you never know what's going to be popular, what's actually going to sell.
Yeah, I was only 14, so I had no like concept of what adults were into.
Exactly. At 14, what were we doing at 14? Let's be real.
I was still probably playing with like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, we're in 8th grade.
Yeah, I definitely was still playing with the Ninja Turtles, or at least like.
So
I think Toy Story came out that year, and I was like obsessed with Toy Story for some reason.
Oh my god, I did not see Toy Story until I was in like college.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't go see it in theaters like 11 times?
No, I didn't.
And go to like Burger King and McDonald's and get like the Happy Meal so you can get the toys like that came with it?
No, my parents would not have let me done that at 14.
They wouldn't have let you go into Burger King to get a Happy Meal?
No.
Why not?
First of all, Burger King doesn't have Happy Meals.
Well, whatever, like the kids club.
They have the Mighty Kids meals.
Yeah, that. I don't know. They're all the fucking same. Who cares?
But at 14, I could go get Taco Bell. And I was going to school dances. Apparently, I was not as lame as you were.
I was not lame. I did cool things at 14 too, but I also had I had a secret life, just like Shailene Woodley.
Okay, so I might have still maybe been playing with Barbie dolls in my room by myself, but not with other people.
You didn't you wrote about it in your diary, but you didn't tell your friends that you're playing with Skipper.
I mean, I would totally have my Barbie dolls set up to have very torrid love affairs. Well, by then it was Barbies and 90210 dolls and Saved by the Bell dolls all mixed together, having affairs with each other.
Oh, so you're putting your Barbie dolls in compromising situations.
Oh yeah, totally. Kelly Kapowski was totally sleeping with Brandon Walsh.
Oh, crossover. Did you ever have Did you ever have Kelly Kapowski and Barbie together?
No.
Or Ken and Brandon?
No, that never crossed my mind.
Oh, 2017 Kat would do that.
Yeah, probably.
Out of all your Barbie, 90210 and Saved by the Bell dolls, who do you want to have an affair out of all of them?
Which of the dolls do I want to have to have an affair?
Like with each other.
I'm thinking, for some reason, I'm thinking the Kelly Taylor doll and the Zach Morris doll.
Oh, yeah, I would. Kelly Taylor would rock Zach Morris's world, I think.
Zach would be like, what is this position?
I don't think Zach could handle Kelly.
No, he couldn't.
Kelly does cocaine. Kelly, like, had sex when she was, like, very young. Kelly steals. She does all kinds of crazy things.
Like, Kelly makes Zach look like an angel.
Yes. Zach would be in therapy for years after that relationship ended.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh my god, this chick was insane.
Yes.
Can I go back to my real Kelly now?
Yeah. It'd be like that season of Dallas that was all a dream, and he'd wake up like in the bed with Kelly Kapowski. He's like, "Oh, thank God, that was just a dream." And then like Kelly comes out of the bathroom, and they're both there, both Kellys.
Oh no, mind blown.
That would be a sitcom. It'd be called Kelly Squared.
What kind of weird sitcoms are you watching, dude?
Inspired by Three's Company.
Oh, okay.
And Hanging with Mr. Cooper. All right, are you ready? Are you ready to dive into the world of Goosebumps?
I am as ready as I am ever going to be.
A Night in Terror Tower is the story of two young children. I believe Sue and Eddie. They're bro and sis.
Yes. Okay, I'm pretty sure I did not know this girl's name until like we were on the second audio tape.
They say it quite a few times.
I that's how like spaced out I was. I was like, does this girl have a name?
You mean you didn't even listen to the first minute where they say her name and she describes herself as being a 13-year-old tourist?
I heard it, but then like it just I couldn't remember it later on. I was like, does she have a name? Did she tell us her name?
She does. She says it very early on, and then they repeat it numerous times throughout the whole story.
I told you like. I think I was just so like, I kind of like got hypnotized by the voice.
By her voice?
And I just kind of was like, oh, okay. And then next thing I know, I was like, wait, 10 minutes has passed. What has happened in this book?
So you should have just started it over.
No, I just went to Wikipedia and read what happened.
No, so you might have missed out on some important plot details and...
No, I didn't.
Metaphors.
No, I just like somehow, I just missed the explanation of time travel. Spoiler alert.
We'll reveal the big twist later on because I feel like that's important to the story.
Okay.
So the first half of the book tells the story of Sue and Eddie. They're two tourists. Sue's like 13, and her younger brother Eddie, he's probably like 11 maybe. He's like 2 years younger.
Yeah, I think I got the impression he's just like a couple years younger.
Yeah, they're roughly the same age though, and they're in London with their parents. Their parents are at a very important meeting at a hotel somewhere nearby. And they just casually allow their children, their like young ass children, just to like traverse the streets of London on their own on a bus.
Yeah. No. Okay, I know it's like 1995, but still. In a foreign country.
What I was thinking, because I'm like, that'd be pretty wild in 1995. Like, even in 1995, I don't think my parents would let me get on a bus with strangers and go to like tourist attractions.
Yeah, totally not.
And then I was trying to think, all right, R.L. Stine probably wrote this book and was thinking of like his childhood, and it might have been okay maybe when he was a child just to like let your kids go to tourist sites on their own in a foreign country.
Yeah, maybe, I guess.
When R.L. Stine was a child in like 1940 or something because he's fucking old as hell.
Yeah, I was just going to look that up.
He said he was 73. It was probably like the 50s when he was their age.
Yeah, he's born in 43, so like in the 50s, yeah, he probably could have just been like, whatever, I'm going to go check out this tourist thing on my own. Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad.
And they're like, see ya, R.L. Come back before dinner.
Exactly.
There were this really weird tour guide, Mr. Stark. I kept thinking of like, I wonder if he's related to Tony Stark. That's like the British side of the family. I'm not gonna lie, in my head, I was picturing Roger Sterling from
oh my gosh,
from like the Captain America movies as Howard Stark for some reason. but talking in a British accent. That's the voice I was picturing, like the face that I was picturing.
Okay.
I don't know about you.
I was picturing someone like way older.
Oh. Well, I mean, Roger Sterling's probably up there too.
A little, but not like way up there. Like I was thinking like some like Mickey Rooney type guy.
Oh, like some dude like in his like late 80s who can still walk but is a little slow.
Yeah, but still he totally loses these kids.
And he worked at a bank for all these years and now he's just retired and is like a tour guide because he knows so much.
Exactly.
He's just giving tours of London.
It's like, I got nothing better to do. why not fill the time by giving tours?
Just put that knowledge to good use. So they take the kids to Terra Tower, and he's cracking jokes. Like, he's like making jokes. He's like, well, now that you're here, we're going to lock you up for days and we're going to torture you all. And he keeps making these weird like torture jokes to the kids.
Yeah, it was like super sketchy.
Sue, the girl, she's totally into it because she's all like, she's the first person that wants to see the torture room. She's like, she volunteers to handcuff herself in front of the group.
Yeah, she like wants to like, she's way too into this, especially for a 13-year-old girl. It's sketchy. It's sketchy AF.
Yeah, I think low-key, I think she's going to grow up. Like, right now, she's probably a dominatrix. That's the impression that I got.
She's probably one of those ladies on Instagram who will take your money and, like, send you an email calling you some naughty name or something.
And then you go to her house and she ties you up and then she, like, whips you and stuff. She puts, like, that ball gag in your mouth and then she, like, sticks stuff up your ass, that kind of thing.
Obviously, the egg whisk.
Oh, yes. Call back to the LOLO episode. So, ooh,
I saw an opportunity and I took it.
You took it. Take an opportunity when it knocks.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that is totally the impression I got of Sue, because they handcuff her in front of the whole group and she pretends that she can't get out of the handcuffs. Like, she pretends the lock doesn't work. She's, like, playing a prank on Eddie and the rest of the tour group. And they're all, like, freaking out. They're like, oh, shit, this girl is actually trapped. Like, she's going to be stuck here for life. And she's like, just kidding, y'all. I can really slide my wrists out of this. Because I think they didn't have the key. Was that it?
Yeah.
Or the key didn't fit?
Yeah, they didn't have a key.
So they don't have a key, but they decided to, like, chain her to the wall anyway.
Yeah, because this totally, yeah.
While they're doing the tour, out of the corner of their eye, they keep seeing this man in a cape with some weird hat that covers his face, but you can see his glowing eyes in the shadows. And he keeps following the group around.
So it's Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's probably Darth Vader-ish.
Maybe, yeah.
Some Sith Lord.
Kylo Ren, somebody. They all wear capes. They all wear masks.
Yeah, spoiler alert. This is actually a sequel to the Star Wars series.
Dun, dun, dun.
R.L. Stine just sweeps it in at the last second.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, the bad guy turns out to be Jar Jar Binks.
Well, obviously.
I think Sue's the only one who sees the creepy dude, and she tries to, like, show it to Eddie, and I think he, like, disappears at the last second or something like that.
Yeah, but there's this, like, weird creepy guy following two kids around.
She's struggling to remember, like, I don't remember him from the bus, but he might have been there because we sat in the back and we weren't paying attention, kind of thing.
Yeah, she's kind of like, but there's something off.
Yeah.
Like, she knows something's off. She can't pinpoint it.
And she's getting a weird sense of deja vu, like, everywhere she goes. She's like, I've never been to London, I've never been to this tower, but I feel like I've been here before because I know my way around for some reason.
Yeah, it's really weird.
She's like, I remember this stairwell. I remember this hall of rats.
Yeah. Who remembers a hall of rats?
And she's like, maybe I saw a picture of it. And so they go to the top of the tower. I guess somehow Eddie and Sue get distracted for a minute. Something, like, distracts them, so they get separated from the group, and the group goes back downstairs, but they get stuck upstairs. And all of a sudden, there's, like, a second stairwell. There's one to the left, one to the right. They don't know which one to go down. So they pick a random one, and they're going down, trying to find their group. And that's when they bump into the creepy man. And he's not saying anything. He's just staring and pointing at them very ominously. They kind of think it's, like, part of the act. They think, oh, like, he works here and he's just playing this weird, sick joke on us. But then he just starts saying things like, no, you must return to your proper place and fuck you both for trying to escape from me. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
They're like, what the hell, dude? We're, like, two kids from the 20th century. What the hey?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I think we forgot the one part. There's the whole thing with how there was the story in the tower about the prince and princess that just vanished. And they were named Susanna and Edward.
Yeah, so when they get to the top of the tower, Tony Stark's father tells a story about Susanna and Edward, the prince and princess from, like, the year 500 or something, from, like, a long time ago.
It's, yeah. Well, it's based on the events of 1483 when King Richard III put the two princes in the tower, and they, like, nobody knows what happened to these two princes. They were probably murdered, but there was, like, this whole, like, thing where one guy turned up years later trying to pretend he was a prince, and, you know, they didn't have DNA testing or anything back then to solve it.
Do you think the spin doctors were inspired by these two princes?
Ooh, that's a good question.
But honestly, I don't even know what that song's about. I just know it's catchy.
Yeah, I don't know, but now that song is gonna be in my head all day.
I guess there's a prince and a princess from a long ass time ago. They were put in this tower by their evil uncle, the king, and they were slated for execution, but they were never seen again. Like they don't even know if they're executed or not. Like they just vanished.
Yeah, they're just gone.
It's just this minor plot point that they just throw out like very quickly.
Yeah, it's just like there, and then you're like, oh, that's weird. That's creepy.
But it comes back into play in a major way.
Sure does.
In a little bit. So now we're in the stairwell. The kids are now like trying to get away from this creepy dude. So they're like being chased all throughout the tower. They're going through like dungeons and tunnels and secret rooms, and they can't seem to find the entrance. And they eventually find like a sewer, like a tunnel that leads to the sewer. And I think that's where the Hall of Rats is, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So they're now like crawling.
And they have to like hang on these things to like avoid the rats. Like it's so weird.
Yeah, they're like crawling through like rabid rats and like rat shit. There's probably rat kings down there, all kinds of crazy things. And the creepy dude's like, fuck that, I ain't going through this shit. So he just is like, you know what, I'll meet them on the other side, because apparently he knows like a way to the other side. So the kids like then find an exit. So they leave the sewer. They go up and they're like in the yard of the tower now. They're still like within the premises of it. And they bump into this old dude.
Yeah. And
he's like, oh, you're the two kids that the bus driver was looking for, Mr. Stark, Tony Stark's dad. They went back to the hotel. So they're like, oh, fuck. They're like, how are we going to get back now? And then instead of just being like helpful and like helping the kids out.
The fucking tour guide left these kids behind. Dude, you suck at your job.
Well, in his defense, it was now late at night because it's been hours, and they did look for the kids. Like, is he going to stick around all day? Like, he should just get the police involved.
Yeah, but that would be thinking. And obviously, people don't do that in this book.
He should have just called the police.
Yeah.
Then the plot of the book wouldn't be there, I guess. I don't know. The proper thing would have do if they couldn't find the kids, let's call the police. The police will come down. They'll probably scope out the whole tower. Maybe they'll do like a perimeter around it, like a perimeter search. And I don't know, just try to see if foul play was involved or if they just wandered away. They should have definitely been involved, because it's like where the kids sold into like child slavery. Like kind of like why did the tour guide just vanish?
Seriously, like what's going on here? It's so sketchy.
He tells this old guy who's like a security guard at the tower. He's like, oh, if you happen to find these kids, tell them I left. The security guard is like not helpful either, because he's just like, oh, hopefully you kids have money, because I can't take you back to the hotel. You're going to have to call a cab and pay for it on your own.
Yeah, like what?
The girl's like reaches into her pocket. She's like, oh, I got a couple of coins, a couple of these random ass coins that my mom gave me. And he's like, oh, that should be enough. So he like just calls a cab. He ends up calling the most like unhelpful cab driver of all time.
Yeah, okay. So can we just like point out right now that the security guard sees the money and is like, that's cool. That'll work.
But the cab driver sees the money and he's like, wait, you're giving me fake money. This money's fake.
All I could think was, is this like fake news? Like, what is going on here? Did this girl pull out like Monopoly money? Did she pull out American dollars? What's going on here?
I still feel like the cab driver would have taken American dollars, though.
Yeah, probably.
And the girl's like, I don't know. She's like, this is the money my mother gave me. I'm fucking 13 years old. I'm here with my 11-year-old brother. I'm American. I've never been to London before. My parents just let me like travel this countryside on my own with my young brother. I have to like keep track of him. We were just chased by a fucking lunatic for the last like 5 hours. It's late at night. And you're yelling about me about like 15 pounds or something, plus tip.
The adults in this book suck.
But he still takes the kids to the hotel anyway.
Yeah, because she's like, oh, my parents will pay you there then. Because obviously the parents totally don't have fake money either.
They get back to the hotel, and then he's like, all right, well, you got to go into the hotel and get the money. If you're not back in 5 minutes, I'm coming in and I'm looking for you.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay. So they go into the hotel. And their room number is like 622 or something. So they go to like the 6th floor, room 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like knocking on the door and nobody's answering the door. And they like put their ear to the door and they can't hear anything. So they're like, oh, like mom and dad still must be at this like important meeting. So they go down to like the front desk and they're like, they ask like where the meeting is. And the clerk is like, what meeting? What meeting are you talking about? There's no meetings here.
Yeah, like, these kids just don't know what's going on.
And so now the clerk's like, well, what room are you in again? And they're like 626. And he's like, oh, like, nobody's in that room. Like, that room's been vacant for a week.
Like, what? Okay, hold up. Hotel in London has a room that's been vacant for a week? I doubt that.
Maybe it was off season. Or maybe it's like a shitty hotel. Like, this is a cheap ass hotel.
Maybe.
Like, maybe the mom yelped it. It got like 2 stars, but it was really cheap. And she's like, all right, we'll go to it.
Like, this will be a good place to just leave the kids.
Yeah, the parents just wanted to get rid of the kids. This is like their
That's all this is. It's the parents totally ditching the kids in London and then flying back to the US.
They didn't even check in. They just showed up at the hotel with their like luggage, and they're like, all right, well, we're going to the meeting now. Here's some fake money.
Yeah, well, we'll see you guys later for dinner. Bye.
Yeah, be back by dark. And then they just fucking go back to the airport and take off and go back to like Chicago or something, wherever they're from.
Like, peace, we finally got rid of those two.
Yeah. Now we can start a real family with better kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay.
Instead of this annoying brat who's going to grow up to be a dominatrix.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, and can we talk about how the boy is like an excellent pickpocketer too?
Yeah, okay. That's why they're getting rid of these kids. That's why they're just ditching them in London, because this one kid's a little criminal. And Lord only knows what the daughter's going to get into.
Yeah, he pickpockets from every character in this book. Like, he just pickpockets people.
Like, yeah, he's just like, oh, I'm just going to steal this. Bye.
Yeah, he steals, like, Sue's camera, like, 11 times. He steals, like, the mysterious stones, which we'll get to in a minute, and just everything. He's just stealing from every character that is in this book.
Yeah.
He probably stole, like, stuff from Howard Stark, too.
Probably.
And it just didn't come up because Arlstein didn't have time to write it.
It's like, oh, no, let's just, like, have the kid be a pickpocket. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, all right. So now we're still in the hotel lobby. The clerk is like, no one's in room 626. But he's like, you know what? I'll look up to see where your parents are. And he asks the kids for their last name. And the kids, for the life of them, cannot think of their last name. They have no idea what their last name is.
They're like, what's our last name? Oh no, we don't know our last. Like, did you two hit your heads? Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
This is where it starts getting weird. This is where things start getting strange because now they can't remember their last name. They can't remember what their parents looked like. They don't remember anything prior to that day.
Yeah, which is like, this whole thing is so sketch.
Yeah, so now it starts getting very like Twilight Zone-ish. And we're entering into like a creepy territory now.
But, like, this is where I started getting really confused because I didn't understand what was going on.
All right. Well, it's very simple. I'll explain it.
Okay, please do. Please explain this to me. Don't mansplain it, but please explain it.
Well, I'm going to explain it casually as we go through the rest of the story.
Okay.
The kids can't think of their last name. That's weird. They don't remember what their parents looked like. That's weird. They don't remember like where they're from, their address, or anything, which starts getting weird. So the clerk is like, oh shit, like I don't get paid enough for this mess.
The clerk is like, I am just some pimply-faced teen from the south end of London. I just want to, like, go home, kick my feet up, to watch Absolutely Fabulous on TV. I don't want to deal with these little brats.
He sends the kids to the restaurant, like the restaurant inside the hotel, and he's like, I'll let the next shift take care of this. And he's like, I'm out of here. Fuck this shit.
Exactly. It's like, the night shift can deal with these two.
Because it's like, he's off at 9, it's like 8:45 when these kids show up. And he's like, ah.
Yeah, he's like, this is not what I need to deal with.
Yeah, there's one double-decker bus that's going his way that leaves at like 9:05. And he's like, I can't miss that. Or else I have to wait till tomorrow. And I'm stuck here all fucking night.
Exactly.
And I'm going to miss like Patsy's Wild Adventures. And it's the season finale is on tonight. And DVRs weren't around yet. So it's not like he could watch it later. So he just sends these kids off to the restaurant, tells them to order food, despite them having fake money. They order food anyway.
Well, did he check their money?
No, he didn't check their money. But I think he said you can charge it to the room when you figure out which room you're staying in.
Yeah.
So the kids are like, oh, okay, that works.
They're like, okay.
So they get to the restaurant in the hotel, and that's when they see the cab driver shows up. And he's like scanning the hotel restaurant looking for them, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we forgot about the cab driver." They're trying to like duck out of their food bill and the cab driver, so they like just slip out of the restaurant. They go like this no exit sign that they see, so they go down there because they figure it'll work to get away. And they end up in this hallway, and then the creepy dude from Tower Terror is now there, and he's like now chasing the kids through this hallway, and he like corners them, and this is when he pulls out these like 3 stones, I guess.
These 3 white stone balls. That's how they're described.
And he places them on top of each other. When he does that, the room like a weird Inception, Doctor Strange thing happens where the room like spins around and vibrates and magic lights show up. It's like in Lost when the characters like jump through time.
Like when someone pulls the frozen donkey wheel.
Yeah, when Benjamin Linus is down there twisting the frozen donkey wheel,
yes.
And they jump to like 1970 Dharma Land.
Exactly.
Sue and Eddie, they experience this. They then run outside the door of the hotel to escape from the weird Cape man, and now they're in like olden days. They're in the past.
Yeah, now this is where shit gets really strange.
But they don't realize it.
Like up till now, it's not strange, but this is where shit gets really strange, and Kat got really confused.
Yeah, so they run out of the hotel, and instead of like turning around seeing like the parking lot and like the Holiday Inn or whatever, it's like an old-fashioned stone building. It's like a field. There's like cows and horses everywhere. There's like a lady in like an old-fashioned dress, like outside, like walking around with like a basket of fruit.
Yeah, it's like not 1995 London anymore.
No, it's like 1495.
Exactly.
We're in like the Renaissance time or something. I don't know where we are. They don't specify what year it is. They just say it's olden times.
They really don't. They just kind of like allude to it.
So now they're like, what the fuck is going on? Everyone's looking at them weird because they're wearing like jeans and stuff.
Yeah, because they're dressed like 20th century kids, and it's not the 20th century anymore.
They bump into a couple of people, and everyone's like, oh, like you must be like a weird traveler. They're like, where are you from? And they're like, we're from America. And they're like, huh? Like America? What? What is that?
Like, WTF? What is America? Like, that's not a thing.
That must be on the northern side of England. And they're like, no, it's across the pond. And they're like, the pond? There's a pond nearby? What are you talking about?
Like, what?
They're like, the world is flat.
Like, the world stops here, babe.
We're the edge of civilization. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. See out on those shores over there where the line ends? That's where the dragons live. We don't go there. Airplane, cab? What are you talking about?
What is this what? Oh, hey, look, money.
And oh yeah, they see the money. They see Sue's money and they're like, "Oh, you have gold coins." And Sue's like, "Oh, you recognize this?"
Yeah, apparently it's not fake money, it's old money.
Yes. So then the Cape dude shows up and somehow Sue and Eddie get like separated at this point.
Yeah, I'm sure Eddie went to pick somebody's pocket.
He probably went to go pickpocket some. Yeah, he went to pickpocket somebody and he got caught. The fucking asshole finally got caught, and he disappears. So now Sue's on her own, and she's like running through, being chased by this dude still, and she bumps into like another woman, and she's like, "Please help me! Like, I'll pay you like in this like crazy ass gold." And the girl's like, "Ooh, yeah, absolutely." And so she takes Sue's money, and then she puts Sue in a box and like chains the box shut. The Cape dude comes in, and she's like, "The girl's in the box," and Sue's pissed.
Yeah, like doesn't even pretend she doesn't have the girl.
Bitch took her money, fucking put her in a box, and then fucking sold her ass back to fucking Sing Sing.
Exactly. Like, what the hell, lady? That she's all like, "Please forgive me, princess."
Low key, the girl that takes the money and locks Sue in a box is my favorite character in this whole book.
Like, honest, can we be real? Like, that's the one thing that makes any sense in this whole damn book.
Yeah, because she's like, sorry, I didn't want to get my fucking head chopped off by the Mad King for like hiding you because you're gonna be found anyway, and the fucking the High Lord Executioner saw you run into my house, so he's gonna know you're in my house.
Exactly. I can't like really hide you.
And then,
but I'll give you like 30 seconds of comfort.
Yeah. The best part though is Sue's like, the High Lord Executioner? What? Yes, the Cape dude is the High Lord Executioner.
Yeah, he's like out to get you. Sorry.
And Sue's like, why is he after me and Eddie? And she's like, bitch, you don't know?
Like Princess Susanna.
Yeah, bitch, you don't know? Like, you're the Highness. And she's like, Highness? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm just some dumb chick from Chicago, and my brother is just a fucking future criminal. What do you mean?
No, you're Princess Susanna, and he's Prince Edward. And she's like, no, my name is Sue and my brother's name is Eddie. We're not Susanna and Edward.
Yeah, our names aren't short for anything. Fucking dumb Americans. That's all I have to say.
For real. Like, oh my God.
No wonder why the rest of the world hates us. But I totally wish that this commoner who captured Susanna, I wish she got like her own spin-off. Like, I want to hear more about her. I want to know more about her life.
I'm sure her life was pretty much crap. This is probably the most exciting thing that ever happened to her.
Oh, like it's years later, and she's like, "Did I ever tell you about the time the princess ran into my house and I locked her in a box?"
And then I turned her over to the High Lord Executioner.
Yeah, and I got like a handsome reward, and I got paid by the princess. And they're like, "No, tell me more."
Yeah, so that's why we have 3 cows instead of 1.
She started her own business. She started her own cow milking business, and she's not one of those commoners who has to live in the debtor prison. She could actually pay her bills. That was another like plot point from the beginning that Howard Stark talked about. He's like, this prison was used for debtors who couldn't pay their bills.
Why the hell did the prince and princess get locked in there? Come on, people.
There's different sections of the prison.
Okay, good to know.
The prison was used for different things. But I loved that back in the day, like they didn't just give you like shitty credit. You like went to prison and got executed if you didn't pay your bills.
Yeah, that would suck.
They should bring that back.
No, they should not.
I think they should.
No.
Pay your bills, everybody. Pay your bills. That's all I have to say. All right, so now Sue is reunited with Eddie in the prison because apparently Eddie tried to pickpocket the High Lord Executioner and got caught.
Yeah, he pickpocketed somebody, and somebody's gonna be like, "Hey, the prince just tried to pick my pocket. Throw him in the tower."
Yeah, so now they're in the tower. The executioner's like, "All right, well, we know what's gonna happen to you. I'll be back in 3 hours, and we'll take care of business." And they're like, oh God, we're going to get our heads chopped off. We're going to just be a fucking story that history will tell for thousands of years. Kids will learn about this.
They're like, this makes no sense.
Howard Stark in 1995 will tell the story. Oh God, this sucks. Like, why are we here? Like, this is just some cruel fucking sick prank. Is it April 1st? I don't even know what day it is. Then all of a sudden the door opens and a wizard comes in. Fucking Murdrock the wizard.
Magden or something. Morgan.
Morgan. I think he ends up becoming a guy named Morgan, but it's like Morgan at first.
Yeah.
Morgan, the king's fucking right-hand wizard, comes in, and he's like, "Oh, kids, I'm so sorry that you got caught." He's like, "I didn't mean for this to happen." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Hold on, let me touch you both."
They're like, "Bitch, who are you?"
Yeah, so now the wizard touches like the shoulders of Sue and Eddie, and all of a sudden they remember everything. So whoosh. Their memories come flooding back. It's like on Lost when they're in the flash sideways and they have like a revelation. They remember that they were dead all along.
It's like when it all of a sudden all makes sense.
Yeah, the big M. Night Shyamalan plot twist is that Susanna and Edward, they are the son and daughter of the king and queen of England. But the king and queen died, and they would have been heir to the throne. But the king's like crazy brother refused that, and he wanted to be king himself. So he kidnapped the kids, he locked them in the tower, and he was going to execute them, so then he would be the rightful king, I guess. It's just one of those like crazy like Game of Thrones situations.
It's totally like the weird crazy crap they did back then.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, if you had a child, that child is going to be the king.
Everybody was power hungry.
It's like, you assassinate the king, then you're the king for like 3 days, and someone assassinates you, then there's a new fucking king. It's just an endless fucking cycle.
Yeah, that's pretty much what England went through. Like, I mean, there's books and there's fictionalized accounts of this, and there's TV shows and movies just all about this time period where it's like, oh no, this house is the true crown, and this one is, and this one is, and it's like we're gonna battle till the death until like everybody's dead, and all the men have to die because they're the ones that get to have the power.
Yeah, you got people like poisoning food. You got like food testers that eat the food first to make sure it's not poison. It's a wild time to be alive.
People killing babies and children, and yeah.
Like, we say things are crazy now, but people did fucking crazy shit back in the day too. So times haven't changed.
Just imagine, like, if it was still socially acceptable to do the shit they did then, now, to get power.
Yes, you would. All right, so have you ever seen the show on CW, Reign? Reign?
I've watched parts of it. I just couldn't.
This book is very Rainish to me.
I mean, obviously it reminds me of like the whole Henry and Elizabeth and King Richard stuff. Because, I mean, that part is based on King Richard.
Yes. And I think the series Reign is loosely based on that, too. Because I think it actually...
The series Reign is based on Mary, Queen of Scots.
Oh. I didn't watch all of it, so...
Like, yeah, you might want to actually look that part up.
She's tied into all that other stuff, though, isn't she?
Somewhere along the line, yeah. Like,
yeah.
I wanted to really like Reign, but got into that whole weird, like, thing with the queen being like a witch or something. I was like, nope, I can't.
She's a witch because she has like scraggly hair, so she's automatically a witch.
No, she like went out and she was like casting spells in the forest and the trees started to move or something, and I was like, I don't understand what I'm watching.
Oh, okay. We'll have to go back and watch Reign then and see that unfold before our eyes.
So yeah.
So are you ready now for the wild ending of this book?
Yeah, what is this wild ending?
All right. So Susanna and Edward have the revelation of who they really are. And they're like, oh, well, thank you for giving us back our memory. So Morgan, whatever the fuck his name is. We're just going to say Morgan. He's the king's right-hand wizard. He wanted to save the children. So what he did was he cast a spell with the 3 stones that was able to send the kids into the future, gave them new memories, and they'd be safe. But somehow the High Lord Executioner, I guess, witnessed the spell taking place. So he stole the 3 stones, and he went into the future to capture the kids. So I guess that explains that whole part of the story. Now we are where we are in the story. Morgan's like, oh, well, I don't have the stones, so I can't do a new spell to send you into the future. Edward's like, oh, fucking guess what? I stole these fucking 3 stones from the High Lord Executioner before he kidnapped me. Which is funny because like he didn't like think to check the kids before he chained them in the tower.
Yeah, apparently. Like, come on, what's the kid gonna have?
So then Morgan has the rocks and he's like, oh, well, I don't want to do the spell because now if I do the spell,
I still can't.
Yeah.
Because they'll know I did it again and they'll just go after you again. Like, we're not doing this. Sorry, kids. Bye.
And he says he doesn't want to do it too because he doesn't want to get caught either because he'll be like beheaded if he does a spell.
I won't be able to do magic for the rest of the people of England.
So he's like, sorry, dudes.
Like, bitch, please.
You're going to die. And he leaves the room. But he tells the kids what the spell was before he leaves the room for some reason. I don't know why. So he leaves the room and Eddie's like, you know what? We're going to do the spell anyway. So they have like a minute where they're trying to remember what the spell was and they can't quite remember. And that's when like the executioners are knocking on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And
because of course.
Susanna suddenly remembers the spell, and she does it. And they wake up, and they're now in 1995 again, and they're like part of the tour. And like a quirky tour comes into the room and tells the story of how 1,500 years ago, like this crazy thing happened, and the prince and princess like vanished into thin air right before they were to be executed. And they're like, oh shit, we escaped. Morgan the wizard shows up. And he's like, surprise, I decided to come to the future anyway.
Yeah, like, I joined you. Because you kind of need adult supervision, you dumb kid.
But it's like, why didn't he just do the fucking spell anyway? Instead of, like, he could have saved R.L. Stine from writing the last, like, 4 pages.
Yeah, like, come on.
I think he just wanted to have, like, one, like, last desperate moment, maybe.
Because R.L. Stine didn't think about that.
But then they make this joke, and they're like, oh, well, we're not Susanna and Edward anymore. We'll be Sue and Eddie. The wizard will be Morgan. Let's go back to America and eat hamburgers and shit and fucking wear jeans and listen to Nirvana.
But you know what my favorite part of this was? Suddenly these damn kids had British accents.
They suddenly have British accents when they become the prince and princess again.
Oh yeah, like when they find out they suddenly have these British accents even though they're supposed to be, are just,
But when they go back to the future and become Sue and Eddie again though, they have American accents again.
Yeah, I bet those kids have never even stepped foot in America yet.
Well, their memories they did. And their false memories.
Yeah.
And I love that Morgan, the wizard, like in whatever year he originally, like he knows where to send them to and like what accents to give them and gives them like memories of pop culture and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty like amazing.
Like he can see the future and he's like, oh, I'll send them to 1995 when like Alanis Morissette is a hit. I'll give Sue the memory of Alanis Morissette's You Ought to Know. She's into photography. Like he knows about photography and like what camera to give her and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's into basketball, so he's like, ooh, he'll be a fan of Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So the book ends with them flying back to Chicago and living a life with their weird wizard grandfather. It could be a sitcom.
Yeah, it sounds like a sitcom.
I think we should get a follow-up story.
It would have been on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, like right after Small Wonder,
Yeah.
before Out of This World.
Exactly. That's totally where it would have fit in.
And maybe on opposite My Secret Identity or whatever it was.
Oh my god, I haven't thought of that one in forever.
We need to call up R.L. Stine and be like, you need to make the sequel to this, but have it be a sitcom, like a syndicated sitcom.
There is a sequel to Return. It's called Return to Terror Tower. It's like a choose your own adventure book game.
Ooh. And you just go to every page and you die.
Yeah, you pretty much like die in almost every scenario.
Do you know what sucked?
There's like 2 good ones.
I used to hate those books because you'd read fucking like you go through like 15 scenarios and you die and you have to fucking go all the way back to the beginning and like try to figure it out again.
Yeah, I always got confused. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I reading this thing? I gave up on those. I think I read 2 and I was like, screw it, never again.
But dumb old fucking me just kept buying them. Maybe we should do a choose your own adventure and like read one live on the podcast.
Oh my god, no.
You don't want to do that?
No, I don't.
Maybe I'll do it with Heather. Heather, do you want to do a Choose Your Own Adventure podcast with me?
So, let's see. What else do we know about this book?
This book, all right, the audiobook, we listened to the audiobook on YouTube. Walt Disney produced the audiobook. Did you know that?
I did know that.
And this book won some kind of like audiobook award.
Ooh.
Whatever like the audiobook Emmys are is what it won.
It's the first of the Goosebump books to feature orphaned children, and it has no monsters or supernatural beings. Though, isn't a wizard like a supernatural being?
I would think so, and yeah.
But yeah.
Well, maybe because he's like a humanoid. Maybe they're thinking like a creature.
Yeah, probably like no like dummies coming to life or anything.
Yeah, or like a plant monster, or like a talking shark.
Exactly.
Or a camera that can see the dead.
So basically, these are just ripoffs of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
That's essentially what Goosebumps was. This also was an episode of Goosebumps. It was an hour-long episode. I think it was a 2-parter. They eventually...
Yeah, it was a 2-parter, and it's not on YouTube. I looked.
It's not on YouTube. I actually think I have it on DVD. I'm going to throw it out there. I think I have it on DVD. Because it came out on DVD a couple years ago. And I think I have it in my collection. I think I bought it at the Dollar Tree. Ooh. And I was like, ooh, Goosebumps. And I grabbed it. And there's another episode on there, too, I think. I think they threw in a bonus ep. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll dig it up one day. We'll watch it and we'll laugh. Maybe like we'll get like wild cameo appearances. Roger Sterling will play the tour guide. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? John Hamm. John Hamm is the wizard.
Before he was the Hamaconda.
Yeah, January Jones is like the annoying lady from the past who like.
No, January Jones wasn't doing stuff yet.
January Jones is probably our age, so she was probably playing the Susanna.
She was like, because she's like our age, because she did ER in the 2000s.
Oh, I could actually see Elizabeth Moss being Sue. Peter Campbell is Eddie.
Peter Campbell?
Yes.
That's so random.
We're gonna Mad Men-ize this book of Goosebumps.
Why? Why would we do that?
I don't know. It's the cast wants to get back together. They're looking for something to do. A Night in Terror Tower is the perfect opportunity.
They can just all guest star on A Will and Grace.
They could. Maybe we'll find work for them.
Well, I mean, John Slattery, whatever his last name is, played Will's brother early on.
Oh, okay. Shout out to John Slattery playing Will's brother early on. Maybe he'll come back.
Yeah, he played one of Will's brothers who had a thing with Grace.
Oh, okay. They're having little Mad Men babies. All right. What are we doing next week?
Hold on, let me find my list.
Because next week is wild. We're getting cinematic next week. All right, I know what we're doing, so you don't need to bother with that shit. All right, so next week we are going to do a movie that we've been talking about doing for months, and we just haven't gotten around to it. But Halloween, it's Halloween themed in nature, I think, by nature of the beast.
Yes.
It's a horror classic. It's from the 60s. It's black and white. It stars one of the greatest actresses of all time, basically. I was going to say of our generation, but it's not our generation at all.
This is long before our generation.
And we have actually talked about this movie in our side chick podcast, Getting Catty with Cat and Pat. It stars the legendary Joan Crawford. We are doing Straight Jacket.
Yay!
And it's a wild movie. It's basically about a woman who committed murder in the 30s. She's let out of prison, and she's now led to believe that she is now committing murders again years later.
Yes.
So it's crazy. It's a crazy psychological thriller.
It is. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's a great movie. If you can find it on Turner Classic Movies, I would recommend watching it. It's probably on like every 15 minutes. Let's be real.
Yeah, probably.
It's probably on right now. Just stop this podcast and just throw on TCM, and it's probably going to be on. And then you can rejoin us next week, and you can follow along with us.
Yes, we'll have a movie night.
All right. So where can you follow our wacky podcast adventures?
You can follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at A Very Special Podcast, and at our website, averyspecialpodcast.com.
Yes, all of our episodes are there, all 89 episodes, plus Getting Catty, plus some special bonus things that we've done along the way too.
Yes, and we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Music, we're on almost any podcast streaming app you can find, so please leave us a review.
Yes, please kindly leave us a 5-star review. Tweet us, definitely tell us requests, dares, fuck, marry, kill suggestions, good son scenarios, future books you want us to read.
Yes, totally make suggestions.
Send Kat coupons for Amazon so she can buy more Goosebumps. And we will not be at the LA Podfest this year, but Kat will be in the dunk tank at the La Plata County Fair if you want to throw a ball and she'll fall into the dunk tank.
I don't know, like, how did you even, come up with La Plata County? Like, how was that the county you picked out of all the counties in Colorado?
I just Googled Colorado fairs, and that's the first one that came up.
I haven't lived in La Plata County since the last Scream movie came
All right,
out.
well, Kat's going back home, and she's going to be in a dunk tank.
No, I'm not. He comes up with these wild stories and adventures. Like, he makes my life sound way more interesting.
If you want to throw a ball at a target and see Kat fall into water, tweet her at CatTVS and just tell her you want her to do that. Tell her you want to go into a dunk tank.
Yeah, I can only think of 4. Actually, I can think of probably 7 people that want to do that.
All right, well, that's more than none. So until next time.
Bye.
Peace out.